In my presentation, I will be talking about Nur al Din, which translates to the light of the religion. I will be talking about his biography, his influence in the Second Crusade, his death, his succession, and most importantly, his legacy. Nur al Din was the second son of Sagin. He was the enemy to the Crusaders' army, beating them in several fights, such as Edessa, Antioch, and Damascus. He was born in February 11, 1118, and he was a member of the Alghiz Turkish dynasty. When his father died in 1146, Nur al Din and his brother divided their father's land in between themselves. In the first year as a ruler, he conquered several areas in Syria. He became seen as the great but humble defeater of Islam. He tried not to conquer Muslim enemies, but to get them to join growing armies against the Franklin, getting them to co-op rather than fight. After the assassination of his father, Nur al Din became the governor of Aleppo. Almost as he began his rule, Nur al Din attacked the Principality of Antioch, seeking several castles in North Syria, while at the same time he defeated an attempt by Jocelyn II to recover Edessa, which had been conquered by his father in 1144. In 1146, after the Frankish attempt to recover Edessa, Nur al Din massacred the local American Christian population of the city in punishment for assisting Jocelyn in the attempt. Nur al Din made an alliance with Muslim neighbors in North Iraq and Syria in order to strengthen the Muslim front against the Crusade enemies. In 1147, he signed the treaty with the governor of Damascus. As part of the agreement, he also married his daughter. Together, they surrounded the city of Bosra and Salkhat, which had been captured by rebellious vassal of Nur al Din, who was always suspicious of Nur al Din's intentions and did not want to offer his former crusade alliance in Jerusalem. To reassure the king of Damascus, Nur al Din reduced his stay in Damascus and turned instead towards the Principality of Antioch, where he was able to take over several territories around that area, including Latha and Beira. In 1148, the Second Crusade arrived to Syria, led by Louis VII of France and the King of Germany. Nur al Din's victories and Crusaders' losses in Asia Minor, however, had made the recovery of Edessa, their original goal, practically impossible. Given that Aleppo was too far off from Jerusalem for an attack, and Damascus, recently allied with the King of Jerusalem, had entered into alliance with Nur al Din, the Crusader decided to attack Damascus, the conquest of which would prevent a combination of Jerusalem's enemies. The king of Damascus called for help of Nur al Din, but Crusaders collapsed after only the fourth day. Nur al Din took advantage of the failure of the Crusades to prepare another attack against Antioch. The Muslim army destroyed the Crusades army at the Battle of Enam. Nur al Din marched all the way to the coast and expressed his dominance in Syria. It was Nur al Din's dreams to unite various Muslim forces to make a common front against the Crusaders. In 1049, King of Mosul died and younger brothers succeeded him. He recognized Nur al Din as an overlord of Mosul, so that the major cities of Mosul and Aleppo were united under one man. The growing weakness of Damascus under Marji and Din allowed Nur al Din to overthrow him in 1154 with the help of population of the city. Nur al Din established himself in Damascus, and according to our book, the Crusades through the Arabs' eyes, he was described as a very religious man who always ruled under the Quran. He was known to be a good person who helped others, who reduced taxes, and who also helped the city by building churches, schools. Nur al Din, ruler of Egypt and Syria, who united Muslims against the Crusaders, died in Damascus on May 15, 1174, at the age of 56 from an abscess. He had a great success in his 28 years reign. According to different articles, Nur al Din was described as a wise, determined, plain, brave, cautious, and strong man, who made a good commander and a respected political leader, who was able to turn his state into a great ruler in a short period of time. Thanks to these qualities, he was a leader who had a big goals and developed himself to realize those goals. He was also appreciated and praised by everyone in Syria thanks to his sense of religiousness, modesty, and sense of justice. Nur al Din was also known as al-Mala Din, as he ruled over his country with justice. He always protected the sufferers without discriminating against strong or weak. He would let nobody be sentenced based upon suspicion or assumption. Nur al Din tax policy was based on justice as well. He abolished heavy taxes and changed traditional tax system in Syria and Egypt. He had declaration in written asking the public to yield the previous taxes they paid up on the state. He would spend his own money to meet his family needs and other costs. Nur al Din was buried in Damascus. Later on, he was reburied in Nur al Din's madrasa located in Syria. His younger son became his heir, and Saladin declared himself ruler of Egypt and Syria in 1185, finally obtaining Nur al Din's dreams. During Nur al Din's rule, 42 madrasas were built in Syria, of which half of them he personally sponsored. Through the construction of these madrasas, Nur al Din was ensuring the creation of the Sunni Islamic Qadis, or judge of Syria's courts, and Umams, which are the person who leads the prayer in the mosque. He added hospitals, new houses, churches, schools in his cities, as well as building houses or hotels in the road for travelers, making his cities one of the most prosperous cities around that area. In addition, he held court several times a week so that the people could seek justice from against his generals, governors, or other employees who had committed some type of crime. He also repaired the Roman Ecuador and Aleppo. In the Muslim world, Nur al Din remains a legend figure of military courage and modesty.